What's up, y'all? And welcome back to AABTV. I am your girl, Audrey B. And our channel is better known as Authentically Audrey B TV. Okay. So I just really want to know y'all thoughts of last night's episode. And if you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is our favorite time of the week where we discuss my favorite show, your favorite show, America's favorite show, Abbott Elementary. So let's get into the video. Okay, y'all. So just a lot has been going on here at Abbott Elementary lately, and I just really honestly don't know how to take it. I don't know how to feel, but nonetheless, our favorite Abbott crew are banding together, have joined together to get Principal Ava Coleman back, and they are also trying to find a way to make it right, to continue to be there for Greg as the interim principal. And might I add, he is doing an awesome job, has been doing an awesome job. And to me, y'all, I feel like he has gotten so comfortable in this position. Now, I'm not saying that he wanted to take Ava's job back or anything like that, but he's gotten comfortable in the role that he's played. He, like I said before, he has a long-term sub to take over his classroom. And if you all remember in the earlier seasons, that is a job that he wanted to be a principal. That is what he went back to school for and all of that stuff. And he even mentioned in last night's episode, like, no wonder I wanted to do this job, because he's gotten things organized, he's got a rapport with the kids, he's respected, except by his comrades and Daya, the secretary. But nonetheless, he's doing a really good job. And like I said, he's feeling it, he's feeling himself, he's enjoying it. And while he's making his rounds and trying to gather up some substitutes to cover all the other teachers' classes, so they could go and talk to the district, we just see a different Greg, a lot more confident, like sure-footed Greg, which I love to see. And so like I said, the other teachers, Barb, Melissa, Jacob, and Janine, they all go together to the district in order to get Ava in front of the district to appeal her the decision that they made. And so they have all of these plans to speak and testify and just use the whole situation like they were on trial in court. And Janine and Jacob have been doing little research, watching TV shows and stuff like that, and they poke fun at Janine's outfit because it looked like she was a lawyer. She had the heels on, she had the suit on, and they were just throwing jokes at her or whatever. But she looks cute, and again, might I add, her makeup and like her style is really blossoming over the last couple of seasons, and I'm here for it. So they get to the district. Those people from the district, they are jerks. I want to call them something else, but I cannot. But they are total jerks, especially the girl. I cannot remember her name, the lady, the blonde hair lady, but she's always been just super stuck up, super harsh, just really not caring about nothing that nobody be talking about. And the black dude and the other little white dude are one and the same, but she was just doing it up. And I was just like, girl, like I literally wanted to smack her. But like I said, they treated the whole situation as if they were in a courtroom and objecting and all that other stuff, like silly, quirky stuff. And at the end of the day, they was like, sorry, love what you're doing here, but we're not changing. We're not we're not going to change our decision. She's still not going to be the principal. So in the meantime, Ava is just like I told y'all, because she ended up being there too. She's like, I told you it wasn't going to work. Like, it is what it is. They're not going to change it. And so Janine, of course, as always, is coming up with crazy ideas in order to get her appeal to work. So she takes everybody into the hallway. They give her 30 seconds to come up with what she's gonna do, and she basically persuades everybody to say that they also played a role in the bribes with Gerard Creek, and that will just suspend them, right? Because that's what they said. She said they will only just suspend the teachers, and then it could basically take the load off of Ava, and then realize that, you know, hey, we don't have the substitute coverage to cover all of these classes, so we gotta really just let them stay and then get Ava back in office. Well, they go in there, they plead their case, and let's just say that is not what happened. Them people was so nasty and just like, nope. And I was like, this is a good depiction of people in the district, but I'm like, are they all like this? Like, do they really not care, like, at all? So in meantime, in between time, while they are there pleading their case and, you know, just there with each other, Greg is on the hunt for substitutes, and he's on a Zoom or, you know, just a video call with PTA. So he's got, I can never think of the lady's name, but the girl that always got the big tattoo, her and Tariq on the toilet. She's going off, and I'm just, and Greg is just like, look, you guys, just calm down. And then I'm like, since when were they teachers? Or, you know, can they allow volunteers to come and just sit in a class? Again, it's a TV show, so they can kind of, you know, switch it up a little bit, but in the real world, we all know they ain't letting nobody do that. So he's asking for their help in order to cover the classes, and because once Janine and the other teachers went and said that they had something to do with the bribes and all of that stuff, they was like, oh, great for telling us, but guess what? You guys are suspended for a week, and Ava still doesn't have her job. And so that was like, what? Good job, Janine. Great job, Janine. And everybody's just like going insane about, like, they can't believe it. They're breaking the news to the kids. They won't be there for a whole week next week. They're gonna miss Earth Day. And Jacob and Janine was so tore up about that. But it was just like, Greg just had to do what he had to do. And so, like I said, he went to the PTA for help. And in the meantime, when, you know, it's the following day, the teachers are letting the kids know that they're not there. They're not going to be there. Jacob's class, which we all know is older, they're 8th grade, and they're like, why? And so he tried to, like, play around with them as to why he's not going to be there for a week. But they are smart. These kids do not, like, you really cannot get nothing past these kids these days. So they was like, man, you got suspended. And so they're like, oh, that's crazy. And so, like, one of the kids was like, we need to do something about it. And Jacob was like, no, there's really nothing you can do. And this whole entire time, throughout this day, the teachers are together in the lounge. They're talking to each other in the hallways, classrooms, trying to figure out a way to get the district's attention. And as they're talking, kids are coming in and out of the lounge. Can I have this? Can I have this? Can I have the markers? Can I go in your class and use the megaphone? And they're like, yeah. Just like blowing them off, not realizing that the whole entire time that these kids are banding together within the school to protest. And so they're like, what's going on? And they finally all gather, like, what's going on? All the kids in the hallway, they're still not putting two and two together, but they see that there is the lady from. So they walk out into the hallway, and again, like I said, the lady from the district is there, and she's begging and pleading them not to, you know, do the most. Like, you got us here, like, there's something that we can do. We don't need all this attention. It's not gonna look good. And so they're still not really realizing what's happening until they start hearing the kids chant. And it's also amazing that they did it so low key, and it just shows that, you know, them with their phones and, you know, just being able to connect with each other fast through, you know, technology to let other people in on it and know what's going on right underneath the other teachers' noses was insane. But it was also so dope to see. Like, even Jacob, y'all, I was like, look, he is so silly, but he is so sweet though. He was so just overwhelmed with gratitude and just pride that, you know, his kids really did that for them, and they were just letting the lady from the district know, like, hey, like, we not playing about our teachers. They do so much for us. Like, we're not gonna let y'all just suspend them. Like, that's crazy. And so she was like, everybody just calm down. The other people from the district are on their way, and we'll give you guys a chance to talk. Like, basically, she just kept, again, being so harsh and wanted to shut them down. And so we end up getting everybody in this assembly. And so the 3 district people are up there, still very dry, still very on they jerk stuff, and still very much like, we don't care, we're not changing our minds, like, this is cute, but y'all need to just like settle down and just deal with it, basically. And again, the kids was not having it. And, you know, Morton gets up, tries to say his little piece, and then goes off on a tangent, and they're like, okay, no, we're not doing it. Ava shows up also, and she's just like, you know, at this point, like, it is what it is, but she's there. And then we see another student, RJ, stand up, and that just took Jacob over the edge too, because y'all know RJ was one of those kids who just, I don't know, he didn't like nothing, and he got him into, you know, the golf club, and now he's speaking out in protest and in defense of him, and he was just like, oh, I just can't. It was so funny but so cute at the same time. And then before all of the protests and all that happened, the teachers wanted again to try to come up with some ideas and some ways to get the district's attention, and they, you know, drug in Mr. Johnson. He done got a clown wig and a nose and an oxygen tank and all this other stuff. I'm still not even sure what that was about. But he's sitting in the assembly with all of that on, though, because, like I said, the kids came up with the protest on their own. And then as Barb stands up and says and tries to say something, but again, they're still so dry, and they're like turning them down, like, I'm sorry, like, there's nothing we can do, y'all need to be quiet. And I just wanted to be like, girl, shut up. And then all of a sudden, y'all, we see so many people from the community come. Like Tariq, he tried to make this grand entrance, y'all, and had everybody looking the wrong way. But the PTA came through, the people from the community came through, the blacks, that group came through. Shout out to Tahir Moore, he's always, you know, on there. And also Ava's daddy, y'all, Ava's daddy, the barber, he came with the people in the community, and they were not having it. They were saying, you know, Abbott is poor, they're broke, but they help us. They was there for us through the strike with SEPTA. They do this and they do that with the kids. They're involved. And then the support of all support. I said, oh my goodness, y'all. Ava Sorrell done came in after spilling the beans, or we assume that she spilled the beans to the district about the bribes, then came in with other principals and was fighting for them to give Ava her job back and to reinstate her as principal of Abbott Elementary and bring the teachers back and not suspend them for the week. And Ava again was like, what are you doing? Like, you're my number one hater. Like, I can't believe she's here. Da 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 da. She ratted me out. Like, it was so much hateration and holleration in that assembly, okay? But she shocked the heck out of me. Did she shock y'all? She shocked the heck out of me, and she went to bat for her, and she was just like looking at her like, yeah, like, I got you. And lo and behold, y'all, They had a little huddle, and we got our girl Ava back. And we got our girl Ava back. And she's back. That all of that is over with. Everybody is just, happy about it. They're congratulating one another for sticking up with each other. They got a party going on in the background. But they're tired. They're ready for everybody to go. And they were even trying to tell Jacob to go and start line dancing with him to get them to, end it. But the guy from Gerard Creek came in. And I didn't even mention, he also came to bat for Abbott. As crazy as it sounds, he said, these are the people that, I basically bribe so many people, right? I bribe so many people, or I'm in these, dealings with so many people, but these are the only people who actually bribed me for the benefit of students and gave back to children, and not just to have money in their pockets, as politicians or whatever. And also, him and Greg had a conversation in the office where they didn't necessarily bribe each other, but they came up with a deal, a tax break, basically, to stop him from ending the golf club, right? Because he did it because of the back and forth and the bribes and all of that stuff. So he felt like he could just end it and it was no big deal. But we all know that it's a big, huge benefit to those kids, and Greg did not want that to end. And so he was able to come up with a deal with him to keep that also. So shout out to Principal Eddie. Shout out to Principal Eddie. But back to the end of the assembly, he starts dancing, everybody starts to leave, and like I said, everybody's just like, I'm so glad that everything turned out in our favor, basically. And I was surprised that I did not see Greg in there, right? Because I was like, where is he at? Is he upset? Was he disappointed that Ava got her job back? Because like I said in the beginning, he has settled in the position. He loves it. He's blossoming in it. He's growing in it. He's getting his footing in it, and he's confident in it, right? And he's loving it. And did y'all peep when that man got his daggone paycheck? I said, he about to be shocked. That boy said, damn. It was so funny. Oh my gosh. I was like, yeah, he's loving it. And that's another reason why I was looking for him at the end of the assembly, because I'm like, is he in his feelings? Like, what is going on? Because we all know he's working these extra jobs so that he can, pay his bills and afford to do nice things with him and Janine. And seeing all of that money just from that one position, and that to me was gonna make me feel like he was gonna want to fight for that spot, because he mentioned, they were interviewing other people. He was gonna apply, but then again, like I said, Ava got her job back. So yeah, he wasn't there, but Ava's dad was still there, and they had a little back and forth conversation, and he just wanted her to know that he supports her, he's proud of her, and that he's there for her. And she's like, what for what? What, you gonna cut my hair? What, you know how to do a bob? And I said, Ava, will you just let the guard down? Let the guard down and talk to your daddy, girl. Let him be there for you. But it made her feel special, you could tell. And so after that conversation with her dad, she goes into her office, and then that's when we see Greg, and he's packing up, and he's kind of doing it slowly, kind of like, oh man, and realizing, it's back to the classroom for him. And he, had that sitcom like walk away when he saw his name tag or placard or whatever it's called on the desk where it said Principal Eddie, and he just put it back in the box. And Abel was, throwing little jabs like, you look like you was just moving in here and da 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 da. And he's like, happy to have you back, and try to have a little sad, emotional walk off, and like, well, talk to the secretary Daya. Guess this is it. And she's like, what do you want from me? Like, you're not going anywhere. Like, did you get fired too? And he's like, you and Ava deserve each other. And that was pretty much, the entire episode. Like, it was very very loving, very encouraging, and I was just like very inspired. Like, these kids really love the heck out of their teachers. everybody loves everybody, even though they just, give people, the blues half the time, especially Morton, because they was like, they did not want him to be their principal. So they was doing whatever they could to get Ava back. But yeah, y'all, I just really want to know just your thoughts about what is going to happen with the season finale, what you think is going to happen with the season finale, and everybody's characters as they are developing for the next season 5. Like I said, I really felt like Greg wanted that spot, and I don't know if that's gonna cause some issues, maybe with him and Janine or him and Ava, because like I said, at one point they were all just in the assembly like, let's just give it up, like it's not gonna work. And then everybody came in support, and like I said, he said that he would interview for it. He said that he would apply for the job. He loved being in that position, but for whatever reason it just wasn't for him at the moment. But I feel like it could be a shift to where he no longer wants to be in a classroom, and teachers do, have those moments where they don't want to be in a classroom, they want to be in an administrative position. And so maybe he's gonna want to be assistant, like somebody had mentioned, or maybe he's gonna want to go to a different school. Like how is he going to move forward from this, as well as just thoughts in things that you think is going to happen with Ava now that she is back. Is she going to still be that same Ava who's not taking her job as seriously as she should, or is she gonna change and turn over a new leaf and be different? I am very interested to see. We know that the next episode is going to be the season finale, and they're going to be going to the museum, I believe. So I'm excited. Like I said, just give me your thoughts about Ava and her dad. How do you think that's gonna go? Just your thoughts. My phone keeps on getting hot in this car, even though the air is on. That's why I had to hold it for the end of the video. But you guys, as usual, thank you for watching. Leave your comments and make sure you're liking and subscribing. And I think I'm going to review the show Paradise once it comes up, and it's gonna be a while. Season 1 is on Hulu, and I believe that it's on ABC, CBS, or something now. But if you have not watched it, like I said before, watch it. And when season 2 comes, I'm going to be reviewing it, because that is my show. For whatever reason, I cannot get into no other shows, y'all. I'm a YouTube girly, a podcast girly, Abbott Elementary girly. I did, for the last 2 weeks after Abbott Elementary, I did watch the game show though, called The Floor. That show stresses me out. It's like Quick Recall, like with pictures and all this other stuff, and it's strategy. Like, y'all, it's on Fox, I think, and that show is a key. It is funny. The people on there are funny. I just sometimes have to walk away from like secondhand embarrassment, or just the stress of people coming up there so confident, and then they just bomb when they go up against their opponent, trying to name all of these things that show up. And you're probably familiar with it because it's like a sound on TikTok, if you have TikTok, where you hear all these names of fast food restaurants and people doing different videos of it. So that's from that show. And my mama got me on that show, so now I watch it with her sometimes. So yeah, you guys, I'm gonna get off of here. Again, I appreciate you. I do. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next week for the season finale. Y'all have a good rest of your weekend.